I think that's everybody in, and we'll keep admitting if anyone else joins, but I'm going to hand straight over to Tim to start the session. Thanks, Tim.
Hi everyone, welcome to the official launch of the Access to All campaign. We are a group of 15 young people who have worked alongside some partners that are listed at the bottom of this slide. We came together to address some of the challenges that students face accessing assisted tech in education. We believe in access to assisted tech and accessibility by design can ensure that they have the best learning experience that they can. We met for the first time in December and have been developing the campaign over the last few months to increase access to assisted tech and accessibility by design, particularly in further education colleges. Tonight is the official launch, and we are delighted that you have joined joined us to hear about the campaign and hopefully help support us to achieve our aims. We will be recording this session tonight, and may make this available for those who have not been able to join. So please turn off your cameras. Turn off your cameras and administer anonymize your name if you prefer not to be recorded. We will have a questionnaire, have time for a questionnaire. If you have any questions during the presentation, please drop it in the chat, and we'll try our best to get to them at the end. If you could keep your microphones on mute during the presentation, that would be great. Next slide. So the agenda for this meeting is introductions. So I'm going to go around in a minute and introduce people. Our views and aims, what assisted tech is, and what assisted accessibility by design is, which some of you may already know, but we're just going to go over that anyway. Why it's important to students and colleges, our 5 pledges, how you can support us, how we can support you, and vice versa with the website and charter, next steps, and the Q&A at the end. I'd like to start now with a quick go around the team, if each member can introduce themselves and the reason they joined and what role they play and where they're from, that'd be great. Shall I start? So I'm Tim Holden. I'm an autistic individual, and I am a part of the Champions, and I'm from the West Midlands. Okay, who wants to go next?
Hi, I'm Josie. I'm a student at a college in London.
Neve, are you happy to go next?
Sure, I'm Neve. I'm one of the champions, and I live in Surrey. I am currently at university.
Thank you. And Hansi?
Hi, I'm Hansi. I helped work on some of the web resources, and I'm also a champion.
Helen?
Hi, I'm Helen. I'm also from the West Midlands. I'm a teacher, dyslexia specialist, and do work with assistive technology.
Ben?
Can never find the mute button. Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Ben. I'm the head of digital accessibility at University College London, and I've been working alongside the young people on this brilliant campaign, and it's been absolutely brilliant.
Reem?
Hi everyone, my name is Reem. I'm a youth engagement officer at British Youth Council, and I've been supporting the champions make the campaign.
I think that's everyone except for me. I'm Kat. I'm the oh, it's Joni, how could I forget? Sorry, it's because I can't see everybody. I'm scrolling through. Joni, go for it.
That's all right. Hello everyone, my name is Joni. I work for the Kent and Medway Progression Federation, also known as KMPF. It's one of 29 national partnerships that are funded by the Office for Students, all with the aim of supporting young people to progress to higher education who may not consider it without our work and support. Thanks, Kat.
No problem. Have I missed anybody else?
Yeah, sorry. Hi, there's just one more, I think. Hi, I'm Kripali. I work for Thomas Poplington Trust as the Education Policy Coordinator, and we support blind and partially sighted students in further and higher education.
Well, thank you for joining us. And my name's Kat. I work at British Youth Council and was involved in helping to set this campaign up and getting everyone on board. So I shall now we can move on to the next slide, please, Reem. Hand over to Neve.
So when we met as a group in December, we agreed on our aims and our vision for the campaign. So our vision is to see a world in which schools and colleges resources are accessible by design, and that assistive technology is freely available for all students. We believe all students should be able to learn with confidence and independence, and to have equal opportunity to fulfill their potential without stigma. To achieve the same, we want to increase access to assistive technology across further education colleges, as well as raising awareness of how to make resources accessible by design so that they are compatible with assistive technology. We believe we can achieve this by meeting with colleges across England to discuss the importance of assistive technology and to find out what good practice is happening and ask colleges to sign up to support the campaign. And I believe I'm handing over to Josie.
Yes, so can I have the next slide, please? So now we're going to talk about what assistive technology is, and we are aware that everyone in the room will have a different level of expertise around assistive technology. We made this video as part of the campaign to explain what assistive technology is and outline some of the benefits. We hope that it will be informative for you, and also that you will see it as a really good resource for you to help educate other members of staff at your college and to spread awareness. Could you play the video, please?
Gemma, Sonia, Max and Jake in avatar form standing and waving.
Hello, we are your regional champions. Access and Assistance for All is a campaign that aims to increase access to assistive technology across further education colleges in the UK, as well as raising awareness of how to make college resources accessible by design. Accessibility by design means accessibility is built into a service or product system in the beginning, allowing it to be used by everyone. Our vision is to see a world in which all school and college resources are accessible by design and that assistive technology is freely available for all students. Assistive technology is software or equipment that makes learning more accessible for many young people.
A pink piggy bank with money dropping inside.
Assistive technology doesn't need to be high-tech or expensive.
Gemma is smiling, texting on her phone.
Using applications like Spellchecker, you are using assistive technology every day without even realizing.
Sonia is working her laptop with headphones on, surrounded by post-it notes.
Do you use post-it notes to remind you of important tasks? These are both inexpensive tools that are integrated into everyday life that can help to improve our ability to perform a task or live our lives. These can be used by everyone.
Max is sitting working on his laptop.
This is Max, a student in college. Max uses a screen reader to help navigate their computer. Using the keyboard, Max can have everything on the screen spoken out loud. They use a screen reader to read documents, emails, and much more.
Gemma is sitting working on her laptop. Next to her is a red visual clock.
Gemma is also a student at college. She uses a visual clock to manage her time and stay on top of her assignments.
Jake, who is wearing glasses, is using his Apple device.
This is Jake. He uses the magnification feature found in the accessibility settings on his Apple device. He also uses coloured filters which reduce white point when he has eye strain.
The regional champions using their technology.
Why assistive technology is important to us. Independence and an even playing field for accessing resources. The future is technology. Equal access to education. Assistive technology benefits everyone, and it enables us to fulfill our learning prospects.
A map of the UK.
How can assistive technology help the 277 FE colleges in the UK? Assistive technology supports the retention, achievement and progress of students. It supports Ofsted inspections and ensures all legal obligations are fulfilled. But most importantly, it helps all students to thrive. How to contact us and get involved. The Access and Assistance for All is a British Youth Council campaign, and you can email us at accessforallcampaign@gmail.com.
Next, we're going to talk about what accessibility by design is. Accessibility by design means that accessibility is built into a product, system, or service, and not simply bolted on after it has been built. It ensures that information is more accessible and that there is more of a guarantee of access to people who use assistive technology. Because attempting to almost put something on after doesn't always have an effective both function, and it also leads to there being lower usability for your system. There are many ways to do this, and I'm going to discuss two examples of a service that can be made accessible. First, I'll discuss documents, then I'll discuss websites. To be able to make your document accessible, it's actually rather easy. It's not something that's overcomplicated. It's simply using what's built into Microsoft Word to be able to make your document available to screen readers and to make it work well for most people. Firstly, I'd like to focus on the headings bar. This is one thing which is very underutilized within Microsoft Word, however, is quite key. It allows you to mark all of the individual headings in your document as headings, like they should be, which means that screen readers are able to get an outline of your document and that people in general are able to get a good overview. It is no different to how you would conventionally format things, but it makes a large difference in terms of accessibility. You also should ensure that all text is text. Simply having an image in the place is completely inaccessible to screen readers, as they aren't able to see it. Also, you should ensure that lists are lists. So instead of using one dot, you should instead use the built-in list function. And you should also attempt to ensure that links are descriptive. So instead of saying simply click here, you should state what is within the link to make it more accessible. You should also have alt text for all images which aren't purely text-based. For example, with this logo, you would have alt text to tell a blind person who uses a screen reader what it is. And when you right-click the image and hit View Alt Text, it will bring up a prompt which will allow you to create alt text for it. Or if it's simply a photo or something decorative, you can mark it as decorative here. Also, you should never use the screen clipping function, as it's completely inaccessible to screen readers and can result in less accessible documents. You should also ensure that you have a good color scheme, attempt to avoid italics or strange styling to text, and ensure that you don't have incredibly small pieces of text, making sure it's legible. Also, you can avoid underlining unless if it's a link. Attempt to use plain English in general, and there is an accessibility checker built into Microsoft Office, which is worth using. For PDF files, I in general wouldn't recommend using these for resources. Within our campaign pages, which I'll discuss later, I've written an article about what PDF files are and how to make them accessible. However, in general, this is quite challenging and it's very hard to update it for newer standards. Also, for websites, quite the same principles apply. You should ensure that headings are as headings and are in a logical order, so going from heading 1 downwards, and you should ensure that images have alt text. Most of this can be done within a very simple snippet of code. You should also attempt to add skip to content links to allow users who use keyboards, such as people who may have motor disabilities or who require usage of a screen reader, as of course people who can't see the interface aren't able to use a mouse as well. And also ensure that, in general, you attempt to audit for accessibility. You should attempt to make sure that the contrast is good and that everything is legible and usable as well. For more information, you can visit our web pages at makethingsaccessible.com/AAA.
So now that we have spoken about what assistive technology is, we wanted to tell you why it was so important to us. So the first point that we had was that it provides such a sense of independence to young people to enter the work and to further their education without the need for personal support. And that's the point on there that resonates with me most, because my whole way through school, I've always had a TA or a learning support assistant or a physical human being who was supporting me to access education. And then one of the things I've done when I've transitioned into college is to replace that support with assistive technology, which allows me to be far more independent in my learning. And it's far closer mirror to what it will be like when I join the workforce. So it's helped me to grow in independence and become more independent as a young adult. Tim, do you want to tell us about you?
I think Neve's going to go next, if that's okay.
The point that resonates the most with me on this list is to remove stigma and barriers for young people with learning differences and disabilities. So I was diagnosed as blind in year 11 and I was given access to assistive technology. I had a laptop and I had magnifiers, but I was the only person in my school that had them. So I was talking to my friends one day and one of them said to me that she had been hearing around the school that I was faking my disability so that I could have access to a laptop in class. And that really knocked my confidence and caused loads of anxiety, and that didn't disappear, that carried on into college. However, I then moved to a college that had a dedicated centre for visually impaired students, which meant that the other students in the college were much more used to assistive technology. They'd seen it being used, and that meant that stigma didn't follow me into college, which over time gradually increased my confidence and decreased the anxiety I had. And I feel it's incredibly important that not just people that need it have access to assistive technology, that all students are shown it and are able to learn about it at some point, so that there isn't that stigma. I think I'm passing on to Tim.
Hiya. I'm going to read out a small snippet of my student story that's on the website. Why is it? Why it's important? I have a high IQ, but find reading and writing challenging. It's a battle. When I read, while I know the words, it's like my brain won't grasp it. I also struggle with organisation and motivation. I do have routines, but they're not. But this does not resolve my anxiety. I find unexpected and sudden change overwhelming. Previous support wasn't joined up or person-centered, and I have developed some of my own strategies, like listening to audiobooks, but because I was intelligent, my teachers left me alone to get on with things. So I still struggled. Looking back, I don't think they had enough staff trained to understand my needs. When I came to college, my tutors helped me learn about different types of assisted tech, which could help me. I had been scarred by this. I had been scarred, but this helped to build my self-confidence and meant that I could access things that I hadn't before. I was able to become a more independent learner. As a result, I passed my GCSE retake with a better grade than expected, and then went on to do a level 3 course in creative writing, which I passed with distinction. I have successfully transitioned. I have also successfully transitioned into meaningful employment with the NHS. And I am looking to start my own small business. I think I'm handing over to Joni and Helen now. So yeah.
Thanks, Tim. So Helen and I are going to talk to you a little bit about the benefits of joining Access and Assistance for All and why this is important to colleges. As I said at the beginning, I work for an organisation called KMPF, which is about progression to university. But in my role, I'm responsible for 2 strands of work. The first one is working with FE colleges, which I've either worked with or for the best part of 20 years, but also I'm responsible for leading a project with and for disabled students in terms of progression. So in this time, I've worked really closely with schools, colleges and universities because we're a partnership. But probably more important is most recently in the past 2-3 years, working really closely with disabled students in university, including those that have got specific learning differences or visual impairments and those who benefit from assistive technology. When I first started working with the students, one of the first pieces of feedback, that I started to receive and heard from lots of different students is that they'd found that accessibility support in the university or higher education was often better than they've experienced in previous educational settings, whether that be school or college, but they weren't expecting it to have as much access. So assistive technology and learning materials being made accessible by design as well really can enable students to have that more positive learning experience. I've now met, as I got to know students better, a few who have admitted that they struggle their way. Like we just heard some students talking about it just through Tim, Neve and Josie. Some more than others, but the students I've met in the unis locally have said that they really sort of had doubts about their own ability, about whether they would be able to thrive at university. And the truth is, now that they've got access to support, they are thriving, and many of them are actually achieving grades that they've always been capable of. This includes a number of students who have graduated with first-class honours, one student who has gone on to a really competitive graduate programme, and one who's just about to graduate and starts as student president-elect at her university on the 3rd of July this year. And so what's become really clear to me is working in universities that if only more young people in colleges and schools had access and awareness of the level of support they could be accessing, then they'd be more likely to achieve their potential, which obviously can positively impact on the students, but also on the college. The other thing I've realised through working with people like Ben and his counterparts in the different universities is that many of the programmes that Hansi showed us a few, and technology that's available that enhances the learning experience are for free. And the students have already talked about it, but when they can access and take control of their own learning, it really can have a huge impact on things that matters to the college, like their attendance, retention, attainment, and the progression of their students. It says there, particularly with those with learning differences and disabilities, but I think it goes wider than that as well. It is genuinely, one of the students was talking about in a university recently, was saying how her friends now all use some of the different apps, and it really helps students with their organisational abilities and different things. So it is far wider and can have benefits to lots of students across FE colleges. I think possibly what's more important for me, maybe they're equally important, but it's the third point about helping raise self-belief and confidence and the aspiration of the young people. And it really can help students to choose, whether that's when they're coming into an FE college or whether that's thinking about their next step if higher education is an option. It can really allow students to choose that are the right course for them, rather than one perhaps that they think may be more suitable for various reasons. Ultimately, although my job is supporting students to consider higher education, I'm aware that that isn't the right path for everyone, but I do believe that high quality accessibility in place in FE colleges will still equip students with the skills to enter a suitable level of employment or to choose whatever they want to do and ultimately go on to enter a positive destination, which is important both for the student and for the college. Helen? Helen, you're on mute. Someone had to do it.
Sorry, guys. Okay, thanks, Jodie, and for telling me that I was on mute. So, as well as improving student wellbeing and outcomes, our campaign can support you to both develop your staff and to follow any regulatory guidance and requirements. There's a wealth of research out there showing that many teachers feel that they don't have the necessary skills to make the accommodations for individuals with learning differences. There's also a misconception amongst many people who work in college that this is actually a specialist area, so they can be scared to address it. By proactively addressing this issue, you can boost both staff self-efficacy and self-belief. The website and our campaign provides information about easy-to-use solutions, which some of the other contributors have already mentioned. For example, pictorial content can be audio described, or you can support students to use speech-to-text and text-to-speech. As Joni said, much of the technology is freely available in software like Microsoft Office or Google Chrome. There's also advice for your staff on our website, which can help with planning and delivery, like on how to make lectures, tutorials, and events more accessible. I've seen for myself as a teacher how making accommodations has improved the engagement and achievement of my students. But good design and teaching doesn't exclude those who are neurotypical or who don't have challenges. It follows the byline of our campaign, making everything accessible for all. In some ways, this can make my job easier, as if I make it accessible for all, I don't need to prepare as many different resources. Crucially, this helps me to feel more professional and able to meet the needs of diverse learners. From a management point of view, this helps to achieve better results and positive transitions. And improving your provision in this area has a positive impact on your Ofsted readiness. In line with the expectations around the quality of education, working towards and rolling out Access for All demonstrates that you've created a curriculum that, through its very accessibility, can be more ambitious for disadvantaged learners or those with SEND, and that it can meet their needs. This includes the impact that successful accessibility can have in supporting students to acquire the knowledge and skills they need to succeed in life, whether, as Joni said, that's in higher education or elsewhere. Recently, Ofsted also started evaluating whether colleges were contributing effectively to meeting the needs of local employers and regional and national economic needs. Raising the employment rate of disadvantaged and SEN learners is key to this. For example, looking at just one statistic, compared to non-disabled individuals, there were 30% fewer disabled people in employment in the period from July to September 2022. Removing accessibility barriers and putting into place solutions to help people is really key to helping them find and keep employment when they leave college. And our campaign can support both you and your students on this journey. Finally, in terms of legislation, the majority of further education colleges are bound by the public sector body's accessibility regulations. This means that colleges have to ensure that websites, mobile apps, and associated content are accessible. This includes intranets like Moodles and other online learning platforms. In addition, colleges have to publish a statement on their websites to inform users how accessible their site is, what problems they know about, and to let the readers know how to contact someone at the college if they do find an accessibility issue. There are resources available on our site which can help you navigate this legislation. For example, providing any experienced or budding assistive technologist with an audit template. This will help you to identify and celebrate both what you're doing well and form the foundations for creating a roadmap to help you on your onwards journey. Thank you. I think I now need to hand over to Josie. Josie.
Yes, so now that we've spoken about why it's so important to us and how passionate we are about achieving this goal of increasing access, we're going to talk to you about what you can do to help us and how we can help you to increase accessibility in your own colleges. So we've created these 5 simple pledges that we are asking colleges to sign up to and to say that we're going to try and make these steps to make our college more accessible. So the first one is working towards making college resources and learning materials accessible by design. And we've deliberately kept them quite brief and sort of open, because we want to meet your college wherever it's at and just help you make at least one step towards making it more accessible by design. The second pledge is that we are asking you to create a champion for accessibility so that that person can be known to the students and known to the parents, that if they are wondering about assistive technology and they're wondering who they should ask questions to, they know and they can come and find you and get more information if they're looking for it and they want it. We would also like you to promote comprehensive information about what assistive technology is And you can do that by signposting students to our website, which we are collating lots and lots of information about different types of assistive technology, some that are free, some that can be accessed easily through different processes. Our fourth pledge is to use Access and Assistance for All template to promote and display a personalised charter. I'm going to talk more about the charter in a few slides in the future. And the fifth one is we'd love you to get all your staff to look at the student stories on our website, because we really feel that if your staff can hear how beneficial it has been to some of our educational careers, they will be more impassioned to help and support the students they currently have and they currently teach. I think I'm handing over to Hansi to talk about our website.
As part of the campaign, we have created several web pages on makethingsaccessible.com to allow you to both get information about the campaign, about our aims and requirements, as well as various pieces of assistive technology and methods to make your documents and resources accessible. Here is our main landing page. You can see that we have individual points for all of the pledges, and we have instructions under them on how to both make documents accessible, on what an accessibility champion should be, and we have links to our video, some free resources which are available, and also tools that are built into your device, as well as an area to download the charter templates and our student stories, which should be available soon. We also have some more role-specific guidance. For example, if you're a web developer, you can get articles which are specific to creating websites. You can get instructions as an SEN coordinator or as a general teacher on how to make lessons more accessible. We also have produced various student stories which show examples of assistive technology being used.
I'm just going to wait for the slides to come back up, just so that you all know what I'm talking about. Hansi, would you like to talk through the first 3 points?
Sure. So as you can see, we have made some web pages for you to use, and they contain all the resources as outlined before. We've also uploaded student stories, which can be both shown to various members of staff to give examples and case studies on how to make learning experiences accessible and what could potentially be improved. And also, if you have if you have a logo which you want to have put on our supporters page, you can send it to us when you're signing up for the campaign, and we'll add it at the bottom of our web page to be able to promote your inclusiveness of assistive technology and aims towards increasing accessibility.
Could I have the next slide, please? So some of the other resources that we'd like to give to your college to help promote assistive technology is the charter, which is the one on the right, and this sort of graphic poster form of the pledges. Part of the reason that we've made this sort of poster style is we'd really love it if this could be put up on the student notice boards and around your college, so that students might come across it and they might just read it, and that might be their first introduction. The charter, which is the one on the right, is completely editable. So we are just trying to give you sort of this graphic poster, but it's completely up to you what you put on it and what information your college already would be useful for your college students. It might be that your college already has 3 brilliant resources, like you might have online copies of all your textbooks, you might have overlays if you go and ask the right person, but unless your students know that those resources exist and know who they should ask for it, they're not going to be able to access it quite as easily. So if you sign up, we can send you all of these resources, and they are then yours to edit and adapt to make personal for your college. Also, we've tried to put some information on there about what assistive technology is, and also the QR codes will take you to take anyone who scans them to our website, to a list of free accessibility tools, assistive technology tools, and also to a brilliant website about students and students, college and university, what their rights are, what they can ask for, and what they're entitled to.
So how can you become an Access and Assistance supporter? It's really simple. Either put your email address in the chat or email accessforallcampaign@gmail.com to discuss becoming an official supporter. When you confirm with us, we'll send you a welcome email with 5 pledges, the supporters logo, details of our website, and the editable template for the student charter. We'll then put the details of your college on our supporters page. If you're currently a student, you could also support the campaign by encouraging other colleges to sign up too.
Has anyone got any questions for us all? We're in the Q&A section now. If you just raise your hand, that would be great. If you've got any questions.
Hi guys. I don't have any questions, but I just want to say you've done so much hard work on all of this, and it is really, really going to be so valuable to everything that we're trying to do at City College. Definitely going to be in touch with you all, and yeah, thanks a lot. It's absolutely amazing. Well done.
Thank you.
A piece of information I did forget to add when talking about the charter is we are, as champions in our regions, prepared to come to any colleges and get in contact with colleges in our region to talk to them, and we're happy to come in and meet with you and help you to create the charter. We will have some examples and some ideas that we can bring to see what matches with your college. So if you're interested, get in contact with our email.
Okay, yeah, definitely do that. That's really, really kind of you. Thank you.
Has anyone else got any questions or anything they want to say?
I think if it's all right if I jump in, Tim, just to say in terms of those champions that are going out and about as well, there are another, I can't count who's out here, 10 or 11 or so that are based up and down the country. So it may not be one of the, I don't know, it's more confident of those who wanted to come along tonight and actually talk to you all. So yeah, huge thanks from my perspective for everyone for coming and talking tonight. It's been really brilliant to hear everyone and it all come together. The other thing that I was going to say is you may have seen, or the colleges in the room, that I put, the link was put in the chat about the Thomas Pocklington research. If it has been shared quite widely already anyway, but it's also just worth mentioning that I think that's a fantastic guide. I know locally in Kent and Medway, quite a few universities really sort of took note, not universities, colleges took note of that research when it was first published, and has been helped to sort of adapt their practices in the college as well. So I just sort of wanted to mention that that's in there if people haven't already seen it. Thanks, Tim.
No probs. Anyone else got anything else to add?
Can I ask a question to the? Thank you so much for everyone who's come along from. I know we've got students who've come along because they're interested, and people from colleges, because this is the first time we've shared our pledges kind of publicly. It would just be lovely to hear from the colleges that have come, to how they, what they think of them, and if there's any feedback. Do they feel like they could be achievable for a college to sign up to, or yeah, just any feedback would be really, really helpful. There's a comment from Bobby in the chat asking if he can share resources with his local colleges. Would you like to? Someone like to answer that?
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, if you just give us your contact details and we can send things through. So yeah, so just contact the website. Yeah, not the website,
Definitely, we need
the email. Yeah,
definitely, we need to spread this information to achieve our goal. We need it to go as far as possible. So it would be brilliant if all of you can tell your friends, tell your colleagues in other colleges. Laura, it looks like you have a question.
Yeah, it's me again. I just think you've given us some really great starting points there, because we have a digital strategy in City College Plymouth, and one of the key parts of it is accessibility, but I don't think we've really got a grip on it yet. We've done various different things, and we use Google at our college, so we kind of roll out all of these different extensions and support with the different areas in little ways, really, but we haven't made any big impact. So I think what you've given us today is really going to be useful. So I'm definitely going to be starting with the charter, I think, and then getting some champions in, please.
Yes, definitely. And all of the resources, the videos, the charters, the pledges, they'll all be up on the website along with lots of other stuff. So definitely check it out and see what's up there, and we'll build on that as time goes on.
I think the branding and the actual the presentation of your designs, your posters, that it's really eye-catching as well. So I think it's going to be engaging for our students too.
yeah. Well done, Josie, for doing that.
Thank you. It's very nice to hear.
Thanks, Laura, for that feedback. It's really helpful for us.
Yeah. Mary's put something in the chat. And has said, I think that yeah, it's in the chat anyway, so people can have a look if they want to know. I'm not going to try and attempt to read it because it's quite small and I'd probably make it wrong, couldn't get it wrong. So yeah.
What she said is that I think simple and clear information helps, and you nailed that.
Yeah.
So
thank
well
you. Thank you.
And thank you as well for the comment from Kripali. This is a great resource and brilliant campaign I'll be sharing on Thomas Pocklington Trust social media. Well done to you all. Thank you very much.
Wow.
So thank you all so much for coming and for listening to our presentation tonight. We really hope it inspires you to go away and help make positive change out there. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.